Today. Really enjoy doing these talks with you. First up is kind of a summary. I did my first event yesterday in San Jose, kind of talking to new investors about buy and hold. The fact that because you're in the Silicon Valley, you may have some stock money or RSUs or options or whatever that is, and there's a lot of sharks out there trying to tease you, kind of bait you into making bad decisions. Whether it's the 15K house in Michigan or be an LP in some risky syndication or all of these different things. Turned out to be I don't know, I guess there was probably 70 people there. It was by far the most interactive meetup that I've been to in a while, right? I don't know, I must have answered 50 to 70 questions and then spent 45 minutes outside talking to people one on one. So hopefully they enjoyed the event. I had a ton of fun doing the same presentation today up in San Francisco, and then tomorrow in Berkeley. I'm not even sure how far Berkeley is from me, but I guess I'll find out tomorrow. So a lot of fun, and just so you know, if you can't make the event, it is okay. I will post it Friday. It'll be my second video Friday after the morning, after the daily Millionaire news. We'll post it later that morning, probably 10 or 11 a.m. So you'll get to see it. It has some new material and some old stuff, just kind of all weaved together. So on to the daily news. First and foremost, just going down the list that I had, building permits soared. They were up 9.2%, annualized at 1.551 million units. The reason this is a big deal is it's the largest building permits since 2007, March 2007. And again, the thesis for this channel is housing is going to be strong this year. It is going to also be an absorption factor should the economy stumble in other areas. When you look at the reports, their stress factors are can't find enough construction workers and not enough buildable lots, right? They're kind of absorbing all of those lots that were kind of created in the mid to late 2000s. So I think there's nothing but kind of goodness ahead of us, right? Even if another sector of the economy stumbles slightly, the construction space will pick it up because it's very clear that we're going to be building a lot of homes, and we have a huge gap, right? There's too much of a demand and not enough of supply, right? We have a supply problem. It's part of my reason why I think single family homes in most markets will be up double digits this year, because there's more buyers than sellers, especially below the affordable or below the median, and it's going to be an interesting year. So next up, there's a new number one momentum stock out there. I don't know if you know what it is. It just took over Tesla yesterday. It is Virgin Galactic. This company has a goal of bringing space tourism to the world, and it's a cool goal. I mean, come on, that's cool, man. I'm not sure it's a business yet, but it's certainly cool and sexy. I'll give you that. And I think it's Brunson is behind it. No, I don't know, the guy behind all the Virgin stuff. So really impressed with that guy. I read his book actually. I think he had a book out 5 or 6 years ago. I read that. It was pretty fun. Um, this stock is pretty small float, which means not a lot of shares. It actually traded the most on the platform Sophie, SOFI. Sophie is actually a platform most frequently used by millennials, which I find interesting. It was the largest purchase day ever yesterday. The stock is already up 223% in 3 months. These are, God, this is just like the dot-com craze. It's the beginning, right? First there was Tesla, which had wild couple of days. Now Virgin Galactic, and I'm sure there will be others in the coming months. Sophie is a platform, again, very friendly, well understood by millennials. Um, Robinhood, another platform like that. It is going to lead to huge momentum, and ultimately some large negative surprises. Again, these markets can remain irrational for longer than most of us can remain liquid. Um, you got to go back and look at the .com craze, right? We were paying for how many eyeballs people were seeing, and it worked until it didn't. And now you're valuing companies like Virgin Galactic, who have done nothing but lost money. Right now, are basically shipping supplies to other, I don't know, space stations or whatever, and you're buying on the sexy topic. So just be careful. But again, I know how sexy it is. You can tell your friends, "Hey, I bought Virgin Galactic. It's up 12% today. Oh my God, it's up 7% today." I get it. That's how madness happens. That's how craziness. That's how can't miss things happen. And believe me, I was right there with you. I bought Enron when they were the smartest people in the room, and they were changing the world with how utility was done. And we had all these brownouts in California and all these crazy things. I bought it until it was discovered there wasn't really a business there. So I don't know. It's not a very sexy thing to warn people about coming future, because again, I'm sure it will have wild up days between now and next month. This will only become interesting in 6, 8, 10 weeks when the ultimate rug gets pulled out. But we'll see. Another thing I read today is corporate bonds are at record levels. There was $13.5 trillion in corporate bonds put out in 2019. It makes a lot of sense when you look at it from a business perspective. Rates are low, right? Rates are low. They also have an average longer term than historically speaking. So again, lower rates, longer term, generally speaking, good for the business. But when people are looking at it, there was something called the OECD. I don't really know what that is. But some firm looked at it and said that the average quality of the corporate bonds is lower than even before the financial crash, which, you know, I guess kind of makes sense. But again, I don't really see the red flag. This article was definitely trying to scare you. But in general, when I looked at it, I'm like, okay, well, in a low rate environment, if you can get low rates and longer term, you should load up. And thus, when you load up, quality goes down. So I didn't see the huge red flag that they had there. It is certainly a massive number, 13.5 trillion. It certainly could be a problem in the future. I just don't see rates moving anytime soon. So not too concerned. A couple other things I saw is Walmart. I read an article about Walmart. Right, they just released their earnings yesterday. We talked about it. They were up. The same store sales were up. I think it was 1.9%, if I remember. But the article I read today is they found a way to save $60 million in how they buy bags. First off, that's a lot of bags, and $60 million is a lot of money. It didn't say how they did it, but wow, 60 million bucks just by buying bags. So good for them. They are finding ways to save money everywhere they can. It's probably that's how they're leader in the discount market. Citigroup, I don't know if you saw this. Some of you have asked me about gold in the past. Again, I have a token amount. I think it's like 2 ounces or something silly that I bought years ago and just never sold. I'll keep forever, I'm sure. But Citi is saying gold will be over $2,000 in the next 12 to 24 months. Seems like a safe call to me, but gold doesn't produce income. You have to store it. You theft, all those things. Not something that I'm too excited about. God, am I less excited about gold or stocks? I don't know. That'd be a tough call. I'm not making that call. So, and then finally, it looks like the market is up again today, in large part thanks to technology shares. The technology industry is up big time. It is at an all-time high. If you were playing the tech game, right, there's some indexes, or I think it's an index. Yeah, there's an index that's like triple technology that a reader or a listener of this channel watches and is posting all the time, which is great stuff. Um, that is killing it for him, I'm sure. But as always, anytime something's at an all-time high, could it go higher? Sure. Will it have a pullback? maybe. I just that's an interesting game to play. Triple technology. It's not my ball of wax. Although I do love reading his posts and watching his success, which is pretty cool. So good for him. I hope it continues. Um, I'll be watching and plotting from the stands. It's not not an area that I will be comfortable investing in. But again, go kill it. Make everything you can, and I applaud you for having the guts to go do that. In the end, that's what I got today. We should have an interview today with Anna Kelly, the REI mom. Should be scheduled here in a few minutes. And if you're going to be up in San Francisco today, I will see you. I think it's at 6 o'clock. It might be 6:30. I don't know. I haven't checked, but I will be there, and we'll have a lot of fun. Okay, bye.